I was kicked out by my family at 19. Now, my fiancée keeps pushing me to invite them to our wedding. Last night, after she said, I feel like I might just invite them on my side, I snapped and told her we should probably just throw the invitations away. I am 35, and my dad left the family and went no contact when I was 4. My mom remarried and had 2 kids with my stepdad. My stepdad, Dale, never treated me poorly, but always made clear that I was not a son to him and he was not my dad. My mom never tried to fix the relationship and honestly loved her new family and always saw me as a burden. That's what I thought, at least until it was confirmed after my freshman year of college, when my mom asked me not to come home anymore. I blocked her after that phone call and have had no contact with her or my stepdad and my half-brother since then. I do still speak to my half-sister, 25 at her insistence, but that's my only contact. It took me a long time to deal with basically being kicked out of my family. I grew to be pretty independent and thought I'd live alone until I met my fiancée, 28, for years ago. We have had a great relationship and her family opened up and invited me in with open arms. She comes from a pretty typical suburban family, and they are great. Over the years, I've told her about my issues with my family. She has met my sister, and she never pushed for more until we started planning the wedding. When we started talking about who we would invite, I talked about friends from college and coworkers, and she kept saying I should invite my parents. At first, I thought she was just trying to gauge if I wanted to. I said I would not be inviting my parents. She said okay, but then brought it up again the next day. I calmly explained how much they hurt me, how growing up feeling you were unwanted and then having it confirmed at 19 really stunted my mental health. That over the years, I have realized it's their problem, and if they ever want to solve it, then they can initiate, but I am in contact with my sister, and it is clear they are happy insisting I don't exist. It sucks, but it's their problem that they have. I can't be the one to solve it. I thought it had ended, but she has brought it up 2 more times. The last one was last night. We were about to start to save the dates, and she said, "Are you sure you don't want to invite your parents?" I feel like I might just invite them on my side. And I snapped. I told her we should probably just throw the invitations away, because if you can't respect what I've been through, then I don't want to marry you. I then went to our bedroom and fumed for a while. She came in to try to talk to me, and I walked out, grabbed my keys, and left. I came back around 11 p.m. after hanging with friends and slept on the couch. She left for work without a word to me, and I don't know where we stand. Her behavior is unacceptable, but I feel I may have gone too far. What do you all think? Best comments. You did not go too far. She is not taking you seriously, and I will not be surprised if she goes behind your back and does all of the above and more. Time to take a step back from her, so you can breathe and make the decisions that feel right to you. She's already in contact with your parents. This particular kind of obliviousness doesn't start with asking permission, but rather begging forgiveness. I don't think so. I go to dinner or talk with my sister every Thursday night, and she would hint if my mom and Dale wanted to reconcile. They don't. They honestly are happier pretending I don't exist. I can understand her asking once. Multiple times over, it's obvious she does not respect his wishes, and that's a giant red flag. OP needs to sit her down after he has calmed down and state it one last time that this is the last time he wants to discuss this topic. Also, let her know that if she tries to invite them behind your back, there won't be a wedding. I feel like it's pretty likely that she's already been in touch with them and has already invited them, with a plan to surprise OP with a reconciliation on his wedding day. What could possibly go wrong? Update number 1, one day after the first post. I'm very overwhelmed by the response. So many thoughtful responses. Thank you to everyone who took the time to respond. I thought I would give an update. My fiancée normally gets home around 5:30 p.m., so after I was done working, I worked from home. I waited for her to show up. Got very worried when it was 6 and she still wasn't home, but around 6:15, she shows up with my sister, which was a big surprise. While my sister and I connect every Thursday, we live 45 minutes away from each other, so her popping by is not normal. Both of them looked very anxious, so I was very confused. I asked them what was going on, and my sister just burst into tears and saying she's sorry. After like 5 minutes of her losing her shit, she starts talking about the family. So apparently when she told my mom and Dale that I got engaged, it started a rift between them. Not because they cared about me, but about how my half-brother, which is 27, is still living at home, single with no steady job. If you're thinking, wow, they kicked you out at 19, but let him stay there, don't worry, I said out loud. My mom apparently wants to do the same to my half-brother, but Dale won't let her. So, they are currently separated, with my mom living with her family and refusing to come back until my half-brother is out of the house. For some reason that defies all logic and reason, my sister thinks getting an invite to my wedding will bring the family together, since it was my engagement that caused the rift. At this, I blew up a bit. I told her that my engagement had nothing to do with it, that their shitty parenting and poor relationship skills caused it, and don't put that shit on me. She cried even harder, and this time I was not going to console her. My fiancée is just sitting there the whole time. So while my sister is trying to get herself together, I question my fiancée about this. She also tears up a bit, but tells me my sister was telling her about how I always bring up the family on our Thursday and that deep down I wanted to repair the relationship. I asked how she could believe that, when I was very clear that I was no contact with my family and had never mentioned wanting to be in contact. I told her that I tell her everything and would never hold back something like this without talking to her. She's always been my sounding board. When I switched jobs last year, we talked about it every night, and her advice mattered more than anyone else. She apologized and then wanted to show me her phone, specifically the messages between her and my sister. At this point, my sister perks up and asks her not to show the phone conversation. But my fiancé tells her she's trying to save a relationship. My sister has just been straight up lying about our Thursday conversations, saying how I was always talking about reconciling, how I would never admit it, but I'm partially at fault too, how I really want to see them all again. Every time I told my fiancé that I didn't want to have any contact with them, she would text my sister, and my sister would talk about how I just couldn't be open because I was embarrassed. Just completely false. I would be perfectly happy never seeing any of them again. I can't believe my sister still sees them. At this, I tell my half-sister to leave and that Thursdays are canceled. My sister puts up a little bit of a fight, but I ignore her until she leaves. She keeps saying sorry over and over again, but honestly, I'm done with her. I've blocked her and will be no contact with her for the time being. A complete betrayal of my feelings and relationships. As for my fiancée, I'm still very upset. She went behind my back with my sister. Never asked me about it. Let my sister manipulate her and honestly hurt me. I told her I love her, but my trust is broken. We've agreed to go to couples therapy and see if we can repair the relationship. I hope we can, but I'd say it's a toss-up for me. She's got a lot of work to do. Best comments. She is nuts thinking a wedding will fix anything. And lying to your fiancé? Why didn't she ask you about this especially? Honey, I talked with your sister, and I am confused about this. Can we talk deeper? I was not expecting your half-sister to be the root cause for your fiancé, suggesting you invite your family to your wedding. I think going no contact with her is best for your mental health because I couldn't get past someone trying to destroy my own relationship for their personal gain. Depending on when your wedding date is, you may decide to postpone the wedding a few months to give you and your fiancé time to strengthen your relationship again, but I think it's a great idea doing couples counseling. Since it wasn't your fiancé's idea to invite your family to your wedding alone, I think you'll be more likely to trust her fully again. I'd say cancel. Your fiancé was lied to and manipulated just as much as you. Don't hold this against her if you don't want to be the asshole. Now is the time to come together with her, as she has seen how F up they are. Tell her you love her and forgive her and never believe anything unless it's out of your mouth again. But that's up to you if you want to throw away the love of a good woman. This is why we are doing couples counseling, not individual counseling. I don't think I'm blameless here. Update number 2, 8 days after the last update. A lot has happened. I'm just going to try and spill it in order for you all. So, after my sister left, I told my fiancé I loved her, but I didn't trust her currently. That I felt she took my sister's side instead of mine. So, I continued to sleep on the couch for a couple of nights. She was walking on eggshells around me, and I hated it, but I also just wasn't ready to forgive her. Then Friday night, after I hung out with friends, I came home and crashed on the couch. We had had an innocuous conversation, but she did ask me to come to bed, and I told her I just wasn't ready. I woke up to pee at like 3 a.m., and she was sleeping on the floor next to me. I don't know why exactly, but it touched me deeply, and I cried a little bit. It meant so much to know that she wanted to be near me, even when I was being unloving. It really turned the tide. I woke up a few hours later, and she was making me breakfast. A surprise, as Saturday is usually my big breakfast making day. We sat down to eat, and she was keeping the conversation light, still on eggshells. But I decided to tell her a story from my childhood. I told her how Dale used to make breakfast for the family, but never included me. I was older, so I slept in, and when I got up, there was rarely any breakfast left, and if there was, it was in the fridge and no one would eat with me. I told her how much Saturday brunch with us meant to me and how I hadn't really ever talked about it, and that wasn't fair to her. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. She apologized again, but I told her I didn't need it, that I forgave her, and while I still want to do couples therapy because I think it'll help me express my family issues with her in a healthy way, I'm ready to send out the save the dates. I then asked her to massage my back because the couch was a nightmare to sleep on and she knew I was serious. I don't love people touching me, except my fiancé, and I had really not allowed it since the original incident. I know most of you did not want me to forgive my fiancé, but I love her, and she loves me. She made a huge mistake, but she's never experienced anything like what I went through. And she showed remorse. As for my sister, my mom reached out via a phone number that I didn't recognize and told me I should forgive my sister. I told her to screw off, and she just confirmed my sister really had never had a relationship with me at all, because if she knew me, she would know that contact with my mom would only make the situation worse. I then blocked the number. This happened Thursday evening. She tried to come by Sunday, but my fiancé and I were out. She left a note apologizing and saying she did not ask mom to contact me, and she's sorry she did that. My fiancé wants nothing to do with my sister anymore, but left the decision up to me. I told her that she was my family, so if she didn't want her there, she wouldn't be there. A little jab for sure, but she took it well and said she didn't want her there. We've been getting back to normal. It will still take time, and I think I may try individual therapy because as I was thinking about all the incidents, I'm not so sure the family situation is worse than even I have acknowledged, and it might be time to really deal with it. The save the dates were sent out yesterday, and everything is still on. I'm not sure I'll update again, but thank you all for letting me process and vent. Best comments. I'm curious to know if you sent a save the date to your sister. I apologize if it was addressed, and I missed it. We did not. We just crossed her off the list. My side of the aisle is going to be a little emptier than my fiancé's, LOL, but that's okay. She's the family I want.